This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of MediaMelt sanctioned by Dylan Strickland. Weapons of likes and subscriptions have been authorized for use during the entirety of the show. All comments are welcome. Government officials are not involved in the making of this show at all, unless you count Google. Commencing at the siren, any and all talking, including cursing, will happen for 1 continuous hour.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to MediaMelt, the show where we talk about the media that is supposed to melt our minds, or in the very least, tries to. I'm your host, Dylan Strickland, and today we're going to talk about the Forever Purge. Here with me, replacing Kirby, not replacing though, mostly better than Kirby, is Jon Costa. How are you doing, man?
That was a really great intro. Yeah.
You doing
Kirby,
good?
if you're out there, you know what's up now.
And back once again after a seriously long hiatus is Gabe Anderson. How are you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. It's good to be back.
Oh, it sounds like he's high or something.
I'm just going to give you guys a breakdown of how the show is going to go today. We're going to be talking about the first two purges, and then we're going to try and talk about the second two purges before we finally talk about the Forever Purge. Everything will be time-stamped in the description, so if you'd like to skip around and watch what you want to see, you definitely can. But let's start off with Jon. What are your thoughts on the first two Purge movies, man?
Okay. So the first Purge movie was definitely like this is a terrible movie. But I guess I'm enjoying watching it, was my feeling the entire way of the film. At no point was I like, oh my God, this is so deep. Like, this is such a representation of society. It was more so me going, oh wow, that person's really stupid. That person's really stupid.
Were you talking about mostly the son?
Yeah, not even just that. I think like one of the moments that got me was when the girl's boyfriend tries to kill her father.
Oh my God.
And then she emotionally follows him.
Dude,
I'm like, he just tried to kill your dad.
Yeah, I don't know. I think her name is Zoe, I think. And I was so confused as to why she was so upset about him dying when he just
what was the dude's plan, right?
There was another point of the movie where like the mom was like, hey, come over here, and she's like, I can't. Why not? Why can't? Like, she's like, I emotionally just can't right now. And I'm like, you're about to die. Like, there's some so stupid.
Dude, and what was that dude's plan, by the way? Like, if I get to dad, I get banged.
Kill my girlfriend's
one
dad.
Thing. Oh my God.
Kill my girlfriend's dad and then still manage to end up with my girlfriend.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anyway, like the second one I thought was better. I thought it was more fun. I like Frank Grillo. I think he's a good actor. And then I don't know, I feel like there wasn't as much stupidity in that one.
Yeah.
It just still like, I think the problem with the Purge movies is it always like scratches the surface of something and never fully goes into it. With that one though, I think like the thing that got me was that so Frank Grillo's character is like killing people throughout that entire movie, like to try and kill him. And then he at the end of the movie, like his whole goal was to kill this person that killed his son.
Yeah.
And he's like, nope, can't do it. It's not the right thing to do.
Well, because what?
But the whole time he was killing people that were trying to kill them.
John, one is out of self-defense, and the other one's out of vengeance.
God!
You know,
you could have argued that. Oh no, I couldn't. I couldn't. Mm-mm. You were killing people that entire movie, and then the time that you get to kill the person that killed your son, you're like, nope.
I think he's so age, bro.
I think he's so good in these movies, though. Like, I think he's really, really good. Like, I know his terror. I know the like whole like, oh, you have to go and kill someone is kind of dumb. But I really, really like I think he acts it. Maybe I've just never seen Frank Grillo act, but I felt like real Punisher vibes.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely thought about that.
Like I
like him. I definitely would want to see him do more. I just, man, that ending of the second movie was the only thing that got me. Other than that, The second one was fine. I had fun watching it. It was good.
So you don't like the first one, and then you think the second one's just fine?
I think it's a good like one-time watch when you have nothing else to do.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Well, what about you? What about you, Gabe? What are your thoughts on the first two Purge films?
So I have to preface this by saying they get a lower score, and also screw you because you made me start a Peacock account to watch these movies.
No, but Peacock's a great service. Whoa.
I don't know.
Peacock is such a
Anyway.
good service. I'm so sorry. It's so good. You get like a tier system, and then you get to watch. This isn't an ad for Peacock, by the way, but you get like a tier system, and you get to watch like a free, like, oh, come on.
Peacock should not exist. That is a
Peacock got
stupid-
started because we
it's a
went into
stupid
Office
service.
and Friends on the same channel. Anyway,
I hope
Um,
it crashes and burns.
what was I saying? Oh yeah, I think that the first one is a very poor attempt at like just a slasher flick with like, ooh, it's kind of interesting socioeconomic background that it's in. You know, it's kind of cool. It's world building. Still a terrible movie. Second movie I was enjoying, and I fell asleep about halfway through because it was just boring me.
Really?
He sure did. He sure did
Yeah.
fall asleep halfway through.
Wow.
There was this moment in the second one that I just remembered where one of the it's the husband or whatever that they're about to split up. He's giving this speech of like, oh wow, we're gonna make it, guys. We did it. And then he gets shot by a machine gun and dies. And I laughed out loud when that happened.
Wait, in the second one?
In the second one, yeah. When they're stuck in the thingy, they're stuck in like the cage where the rich people get to kill him. And he's like, oh wow, we killed all those people.
Yeah,
We're
they
gonna
deep
get
blue
out."
seed it.
And then they just freaking murder him.
Yeah.
And
He's like,
and
did
then
you
that-
get them all?
that-
Did you get them? And then,
Yeah.
no. It was talking about like he was talking to his wife, right? About like how he was like, yeah, we're gonna get married, and then he gets shot.
yeah, and then he just fucking dies. It was insane.
Also,
I laughed so hard at that. part.
the fact that the fact I don't know, something's just a little bit goofy about the fact that a man is driving around in a semi truck with a 50 cal, and then he just lights up people in the street. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that is weird.
Like he lifts the back of the truck and then just absolutely annihilates anyone who's around him.
He works for the government, right? Like
yeah,
that was the thing?
they're it's the FFA, the double
New Founding Fathers, NFFA.
Yeah, NFFA.
Yeah, FCC, FFA.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Future Farmers of America.
Oh my god.
I think okay. It's interesting that both of y'all just didn't like the first two. I don't think they're that bad.
I thought the second one was fine, and I will say that both times I did not end the film being like, "Oh, this was terrible. I absolutely hated it." It was
I
more
see
of
the first one. Go ahead.
I will say the one thing I really do like about the first one is I still need to look up the actor's name, but the guy who plays the like lead Purge person.
Oh, that guy. He was pretty
like he just plays crazy so well.
Really, you guys thought so? I thought he was too tongue in cheek with it. I was like, this is a little
No.
much.
For the Purge,
Yeah.
I thought it fit. I felt like the
Yeah.
guy knew what kind of movie. he was in.
Really,
I thought he knew what movie he was in, and he played it well.
I like the scene where like he stabs the dad after the dad like takes out three guys, which is really badass, by the way. I thought that when Ethan
Mhm.
Hawke like kills those three guys with the shotgun, I actually thought that was really cool. And I see I've seen this movie before, but I completely forgot everything about it. And so when he got stabbed, I was like, oh man. And I thought it was the knife is why does he have this big ass knife? Do y'all think it was abnormally large?
There were a lot of abnormally large knives.
Yeah, there's people running around with axes and machetes. So
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, it's like those weapons would be so inconvenient in real life. Are you kidding me?
Also, my thing with the first one is there's like several. See, the thing with these movies is I feel like the concept carries the dumb logic, right? Like the
Yes.
concept of these films is really cool. Like the fact that like there's a purge and like everything's legal for 12 hours. That's a really cool idea for like a film. But there's like several points in both of the movies where there's like logic gaps. Like they have this incredible security system in the first one, but it's incredibly easy to just cut the power to the entire house.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was one of the things. Was like the dad was like, it looks good. I'm like, you put your
What?
family in something that looks good. Oh my god!
I
Like,
know, and it's like it works pretty well for the most part. But I also think it's I don't know. I didn't like that the kid let the dude in. I do like that the dude that they let in becomes like a recurring character. Like he's
yeah,
in the second and third one. But
I,
I was like, would this kid? I don't know. I don't know.
I
There's
was also like, how long has the purge been going on that this kid thinks that that would be okay?
exactly.
Like he should
Mhm.
know, you
Yeah.
know, like he should know that that's a bad
The
idea.
movie takes place in 2021, I think. Or no,
2022.
2022. And then
And they're using flip phones. Don't
yeah.
forget.
It takes place in 2022, but the kid but like it's been around since 2013. The purge has been
Yeah,
around since 2013. So I was like, why is this kid so dumb? Like
yeah,
they nailed the technology stuff though, like where he has the glasses and like kind of has like a little VR feel.
yeah.
Like some of that stuff was right on the money.
And I got that for Christmas back in 2007. Anyway, um,
You know, I will say the purge really likes their creepy masks, and
Yeah, they really do.
mhm.
very, very interesting the way they're used throughout it.
Yeah.
I just can't help but think like there's just a guy under that. Like there's just a normal dude.
Just a regular
There's a
dude.
normal dude
Yeah.
underneath that massive.
Except for in the first one where it's the crazy dude who takes it off and he just looks just as creepy when he takes it
I
off.
really thought he was that
Mm.
menacing, huh? I do think that the costume design on the masks is really cool.
Mhm.
I feel like that's where all the budget is going.
And I think that the statements on like classism and stuff are pretty interesting. I just think that the movie becomes more of a like action film than like a horror
Mhm.
or like philosophical.
Slasher or
And
anything like
at
that.
no point in the movie am I ever scared.
No,
No.
no.
Never
In any of
scared. No.
well, actually, in the second one, there is one part that actually got me. So when the dude is trying to unlock the car, and he's like, I can't unlock the car door. It's like right at the beginning, and they see like the dude, like the purgers, who by the way is Lakeith
Oh
Stanfield
yeah.
out of nowhere. Did y'all think that was weird that Lakeith Stanfield was just in this film
Yeah, he was in this film. Yeah, he was in
Yeah.
there.
for like a 3-second
For-
cameo?
Yeah, for like a few minutes, I was like,
Yeah,
Is that?
that's like.
Is that?
yeah.
But then you remember that he did Death Note on Netflix, and you're like, oh yeah.
I didn't know he was in that. I don't plan on ever watching that movie. But I heard it because I heard it was really, really bad.
Don't.
It comes highly recommended from
Don't
Gabe, so
ever.
you should watch it.
But yeah, that scare when he was like trying to unlock the door when they were like looking at him and the dude just like shows up right next to him. That was the only scare in this entire franchise that got me, like including the new one. And I was like, okay, that was actually a pretty good one, which is I think is why because I like Frank Grillo and I thought that there was one good jump scare, and I thought like I don't know, something about the second one is kind of fun, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the second one is fun. I don't. There weren't. I think the masks weren't as scary in the second one,
No.
and then I think they upped their game again when moving forward. But
Yeah. Also,
yeah,
I think. Oh, that's the third one. I'm getting them confused. My God. I also have another issue with these fact that these are kind of semi hard to remember.
right.
Yeah.
It shows how. I think it really shows the quality of the movie.
I don't think it's bad. It's just something
The
about
fact
it is like
that, like
The
they
second,
blend together.
the
Yeah.
second one suffers from that. Well, I think the third one does too. But the second one suffers from that plot failure of like we must go from point A to point B
Mhm.
and to point C. You know
yeah.
that like it works in video games, but it doesn't work very well as a movie.
Be like honestly, do you remember the story at all, Gabe? Of like the first one or the second one?
Dude, like first one barely, second one no, and then the newest one that came out, I'm like actively trying to remember the movie.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like they all blend together or if it's like maybe it's because it's all the same setting, all the same like thing that's going to happen. so it just kind of like they're easily like
Mhm.
clustered. I don't know.
Well, and there are only
They
so many.
all-
Go ahead.
No, they just all have like.
No.
Okay, so the second and fifth. God, there's 5 movies in this. Yeah, the fifth one have like
They're doing
kind
so
of
well. They make so much money.
similar plots. Like the fifth one felt a lot like the second one.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Gabe?
Honestly, yeah, where they go through this big epic.
But I mean, I do like the kind of weird, like if the purge was a real thing, that
You
all
lagged.
the men would be like after this one, like a woman on like purge day. Not all the men, but like a lot of the men in the movie were like trying to gun for the one waitress girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, I like that they introduced that the government is like killing poor people because poor people are bad. I just like after taking 3 economics classes, I was just like, that's not how that works. We need poor people. They pay a lot of our stuff.
I know it's weird. It's kind of like, well, it's I don't know. It's they have like they want I don't know how to describe it. The government wants to kill the poor people so that the country appears more wealthy, but doesn't the poor people don't the poor people give the wealth? So I'm like, if you're killing the
They
poor people,
do like the
wouldn't-
majority of what we have in this country, like taxes wise,
yeah.
is provided by poor people.
So I'm
So it
confused as
just
to,
shows
like,
that like the writers never really studied economics.
it's like
I think it's
I don't know.
I think it's like a looks thing. Like poor people are gonna be the worst kind of people. So if we can eliminate them, then we look a lot better. You know, there's
Yeah.
no like ugly trailer park or anything.
Like
No, there's more like more high quality, lower class jobs to be able to have, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I know it's
I-
just hard for y'all to understand because you're both extremely rich, but
yeah,
you know, it's
run,
just-
fucking showered in money. But I do think it's interesting. Like I do like the switch from the first film where it's like we're following this rich white family to the second film where we're like following this struggling family during the purge. I like that we get to see like both sides of that.
Mhm.
That's kind of interesting to me
yeah,
because
I
I feel
like
like
that too.
Ethan Hawke's family in the first one is more the type of people that are kind of entrapping the family or the people in the second one. Like they would be the ones watching at that little hunter arena thing.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
can see that.
Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add about the first two?
My man Gabe did fall asleep halfway through, so
I did. I really did.
I think it's better than what we're about to talk about, where you didn't even make it through the other two.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, let's talk about the purge election year and the first purge. Now, this is going to be kind of difficult because I don't think either of you could actually make it through these films, right?
No.
No.
But
No.
you know what? I realized afterwards that they had a higher Rotten Tomatoes rating than the second one. And that is proof that Rotten Tomatoes is not always perfect.
The thing with this is I can forgive. It's for me, it's kind of easy to enjoy a movie as long as it's somewhat entertaining. I will accept a bad film if it like entertains me. The worst thing that a film can do, in my opinion, is bore me. If I'm bored while watching the movie, there's a
Mhm.
serious problem. And I think the election year and the first purge are almost pros at boring me. Like neither of them are bad movies. I don't even know if I can say. I don't think election year is necessarily terrible, and I don't think either of them are actually terrible. But they are both so slow sometimes. They can be so slow, at least for me. And I know you guys didn't get through them, so I'm guessing it would be the same for you as well. There are parts.
It just didn't feel like 3 and 4 got to any new ground. You know,
Exactly.
like I don't know. With the second one, it's like, oh, we're seeing what it's like for the lower class. Cool. But with 3 and 4, it was like, oh, well, we kind of know this. Like we've been here before.
Isn't there like I remember seeing the third one at some point, or it actually might have been the first Purge, but like there's this like little girl with a gold-plated AK.
Yes, that's the third
Or
one.
is that
And
the second one?
that's the third
That's
one.
the third one. Okay. I remember seeing that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and watch this movie. Like after seeing that portion of it, it did not
Guys, the girl
bode
with the
well
AK,
at all.
I know it's not the actress's fault, but the choices they made with that actress are bother me to no end.
Yeah.
I can't talk about this enough.
So
I
annoying.
don't like pointing, like I'd be like, oh, this is such an issue, but this was really hard for me to like see. And it's not her fault. It's not the right. I mean, everyone makes a choice in like what an actor does, right? It just wasn't for me. It felt like a lot of times with the crazy people in these movies, it feels like they're playing crazy. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you aren't
Mhm.
crazy. You're like you're like, oh, I'm playing crazy. Like when you watch the Joker, you're like, this dude's crazy, but it's not because he's like, oh, I'm playing crazy. It's more or less like he's playing, I don't want to be crazy, if that makes sense. Or like playing like
I think
there's
it's
something. It's
like
it's
that
it's it's like when you're playing, oh, I'm insane, I'm crazy,
these
I'm
aren't
this crazy
crazy
guy,
people
versus
though.
like it's like what an actual crazy person looks like, where they're like stoic and like it's kind of off-putting, like how like calm they are about like the shitty
Mhm.
stuff that they do. But the choice they
I
made
think
with her was more of like, I'm not off-putting, I'm just like mean, like always.
she's a brat.
Exactly, and I didn't like it.
It because the whole thing with like the crazy people is like these are supposed to be normal Americans on
Yeah,
this night, and like so they're gonna be playing pretend and all of that. It's like
yeah.
I can kind of play devil's advocate and forgive that aspect of it, I guess, but
I guess, but at the
I
same
don't know.
time, like I don't know, when your motive
I'm
is to get a
trying so
candy
hard to
bar,
give. Oh my god!
like that was her whole stick. And let me
my candy.
exactly. I wanted, I liked, I don't even know if I did. I liked her death. I thought I thought the way that they killed her was pretty fun. Like where it's like this badass like chick, badass woman who like comes in and just like annihilates them. I thought that was pretty fun. I like when they get run over by the big truck. But I don't know, there's something just off-putting about, and I was glad when she died. So I mean the actress did a good job in getting me to not like her character and like want her character to go away. So like when she died, there was that payoff. Like I was happy that like the villain had died. So I guess it wasn't like that bad a performance, but man, something about it just didn't sit right with me. I don't know what it was. I do like the goofy parts of the third one. Like the part, I know you guys probably didn't get to this part, but the part where they're driving down the street and they have a whole guillotine. Like there's actually a scene where they
Oh
take
my
a dude
god!
and put him into a thing, and for like it's like a 2-second scene, but you see the guillotine blade go down and they're cutting off people's heads in the street. So that means they made a guillotine, because that's not something that you just go and buy, and then they cut the dude's head off, and it was genuinely so funny. Like and like driving the car, like some of the design choices are really cool, where they like drive the car around with the lights all over it. But I don't know, it just it gets really slow at some points. The thing that carried me is Frank Grillo, because I liked his character in the second one, but even his character feels kind of like dumbed down in this movie. Like he doesn't feel like nearly as much of a badass, and I feel like that might be my actual problem, because as these movies are progressing, they're slowly becoming less horror or like attempted horror and more like action film. So like when you take out a lot of the action, it just kind of drags on. That makes sense.
With the third one and Frank Grillo's character, it feels like they wrote a script that didn't have that character in it, and then they were like, "Oh, people really like Frank Grillo in the second one. let's just put him in and it'll work.
Yeah.
Because that didn't feel like a natural progression from what he went through in the second one to what he decided to do in the third one.
Yeah, like he's all of a sudden like he goes from I want to kill my like I want to get vengeance to I want to be a bodyguard for a senator.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like the way that the story kind of continues. Like we get
maybe that's his day job.
it's his day job. I do like the way the story continues. Like we get to see the development of like, oh, the activists want this like this senator to go through and like be the new senator. But I cannot stand, we'll talk about this more in a second, but I cannot stand that they succeed in that. The senator gets voted in and the purge theoretically goes away. And then they change that in the new one. That really bothered me. We'll talk more about that in a second, but like,
oh my God, dude. And they freaking, in the new one, they brush over it in like the first 2 seconds. They're like,
me so much.
Okay, so new founding fathers were elected once again.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a second, but gosh, it bothered me so much. The first purge, the fourth one, man, this movie has about one part that is fun. Going into this one, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really excited because this is, as far as like the purge goes, should be like the best idea. Like, oh my gosh, it's the first purge. Like, we're gonna get to see these people experiencing events that we know about, that we've heard about. We know how this looks. But then I don't know, they just make it not interesting. Marissa Tomei's in this, and she's like just gets killed off in like 3 minutes. And I don't know. There's a character in this movie named Skeletor. Like,
oh my God.
I don't know. It's and then they have like the weird, like, it's 2013 in the like filmverse canon, but they have contacts that have like technology in them. So it's a contact that's a camera. So you put it in your eye and it's a camera and you can like, they'll see what you're seeing and they light up your eyes.
Oh my God.
And I was like, you know when this movie is set. Why is this a thing? Why do you have contacts in 2013 that can do this when we don't even have this today? I was like, I don't understand why you would make that choice. At one point, this is basically how I feel. I wrote this note down because I was like, this is very poignant to me. At one point in this movie, there's a dude who says, there's nothing happening in regards to the purge, right? Because all these people are celebrating. And when he said there's nothing happening, that's genuinely what I had felt I had watched to that point in the movie. Everything up at that point felt like nothing had happened in the film. Man. Because instead of being like, oh yeah, we're going to go to the purge, and we have this wild side, and they do these like psych evaluations, and then they're like, oh my God, nobody's killing and lashing out on people. And nothing's happening. Like it's not like the people that they chose to go and murder everybody are actually murdering each other. It's just them partying. And I was like, well, why on earth would you pick people to go into the purge to like just party and stuff? Like people do that. And I don't know. It's just, they made so many choices that didn't make sense to me. I do like that the government is still the bad guys. They go in and like try and set it up so they can have the NFFA, right? I like that.
Yeah.
And I like Dimitri. That character is pretty cool just because he's like basically John Wick for no reason. Like he's a street gangster, but he knows how to kill people in like a variety of different ways. There is some weird editing choices, but
like every street gang.
Exactly. And I don't know. You guys I think we don't know much about it. So we'll quit rambling on. We'll get into the Forever Purge, but those two movies, I don't know. I just felt so like they weren't terrible, but man, they just bored me. Let's get into the Forever Purge. Gabe, what are your thoughts on the Forever Purge?
It is. I expected to watch this movie on Sci-Fi. That is the best explanation I can give it. It's like that is the only time I would see this movie if I like wasn't watching it for this specific podcast.
My man took a stroll in the middle of the movie.
You what?
He walked out of his seat. He took a stroll in the middle of the movie.
Are you serious?
You know, when you're seeing a movie, you like really try hard not to go to the restroom or anything.
Yeah.
My man
that's
Gabe
fine.
didn't give a crap. He left
No,
right in the
I
middle
went
of
to the
it.
restroom twice,
Yeah.
but I was also drinking kind of heavily beforehand. But
That's the only way that I can imagine you would go and watch this movie. Like, or at least you should.
And you know what? Yeah. And there were parts where like I kind of enjoyed it, some of the action.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of fun, but
Yeah.
for the most part, it was
What really bothered me about this is, like, you're talking about the action, right? So the action in the other films, it's already rated R. So they don't like try and stray away from gore. But in this movie, they tried to treat like the action as if it was a PG-13 film. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, they kept cutting away from like blood and guts and stuff. And I was like, dude, I'm here to see, like, I want to see the kill. I don't know. It bothered me so much. Like, there's one part I think where
the
somebody
action scenes were really oddly cut.
Yeah, it's not that they were bad. It's just that I felt like I was watching it was not to its discredit. The MCU does fine, but it felt like I was watching like a Marvel movie kill a human character, right? I was like, why are you cutting away when it doesn't bother me in the MCU because that's what I've come to expect, but I'm seeing the Forever Purge. Like, I want to see a dude, like, don't cut away from a dude getting his head bashed in. I want to see it explode and like do the whole head bash in thing. That's what I'm here for. So like the action was fun at some points. You're right. But I was just, at some points I was like, why? This is rated R. You knew it was going to be rated R. There's F words in this movie. Like, I don't know why I don't know. What did you think about the Forever Purge, John?
I thought it brought it back to the glory of the second one. And there is a very low bar for these movies, but I'd say that the Forever Purge was probably, if I had to choose a favorite, probably on par with the second one.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, it was fine. I had a fun time, but the weird thing was, the action sequences don't pull you in too much. There's not. I don't know. This one also felt like, I remember coming out of the movie and telling Gabe, like, it just feels a lot of like pew 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 run pew pew. Like, it just felt a lot like that.
Like an action
and
film,
after like binging,
like, yeah, exactly.
They don't ever show you what they're shooting at.
Hardly ever, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ideas like story-wise that feel kind of half-baked. Like the idea that, okay, fine, the NFFA has been voted into office again, and then they are going to like reinstate this policy, which is okay because that happens in the real world. Like, you know, we switch between like which political party that is our president all the time, right? But the fact that like you're calling it the Forever Purge, and at the end of the election year, I know y'all didn't get to this point, but at the end of election year, they make it very clear that people are rioting and upset in the streets, like about the fact that the purge is now going to end. So I was just confused as to why, instead of like continuing that story arc from the third one where it left off, why didn't you just make it like an insurrection happens? Like,
dude, that would be so much better.
I know. I was like, why would you just all of a sudden, because you already set up this movie. It felt like what I thought going into it. I was like, okay, they already set up the fact that people are mad. Let's just take all the purgers who want to keep purging and then do that. And they do it, but for some reason they had to reinstate the original purge. I was just like, is this just for runtime?
And then they had to make everybody racist. Like all of the all of the people that were a part of the Forever Purge movement were all racist.
I mean, to be fair, they were.
It didn't feel like that at first. No, I know, yeah.
Oh my God.
At first,
that's a joke. I'm kidding.
When that group is first introduced, they're like, we're all about like killing the higher class, and you know, because you don't know what it's like to be poor and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then midway through the movie, they're like, no, we hate Mexicans.
We're gonna the bad guys are not all of a sudden like Nazis.
Okay, what?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
where did that come
all of a
from? That
sudden.
is not what they said they were about at first. But okay, whatever.
I know we're kind of jumping all over the place, but at the end of the movie, where did that one ginger dude come from?
I
Who
don't
was
know,
just starting to call the shots for the bad guys.
that they killed
I
his
don't.
wife. I don't know. You might have been in the restroom when that happened, but they like
I might have
murdered.
been in the restroom.
Oh, he was in the restroom when that
Yeah,
happened.
okay. I was so confused as to why that guy was like, "Yeah, we're getting these mother." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, the Hispanic dude.
His wife was so weird, by the way.
Yeah.
That performance from his wife was so weird. She was like playing turned on that entire time. And I'm sure, I don't want to blame the actress. Maybe it was the director's call, but it was just really weird. Like
I did think
yeah.
that the main squad, I thought they actually did a pretty good job performance.
Oh yeah, no. They were great.
Yeah. And I
thought
believe their story.
With
Like
Josh
their
Lucas?
story made sense to me.
Yeah, those main characters, pretty good job. It was pretty good. I like them.
This has been like the first role that I've seen Josh Lucas in a while. The main guy.
Agree. Is that the white guy?
Yeah. I've seen him in a while. He's in Ford vs. Ferrari, right? He's been in a lot of stuff recently.
That's where I've seen him from. I've also seen him.
The first movie that I've seen him. He's not but the thing is, like, he's not a little whiny bitch in this movie, and that's the first time. He's either crazy as hell or he's like a little whiny daddy's boy.
Wasn't
in
he
every
in-
single movie he's in? Kind of.
Wasn't he in the Eric Bana Hulk and he was kind of an asshole?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that's a
He was
weird
in the
memory
Eric
that I
Bana
have.
Hulk.
Yeah, wasn't he?
I think he was the guy who locked him in the like chamber and tried to like remember in the water tank.
Oh no way! That's the same dude.
Yeah, I
What?
think so.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
man,
a-
it's real different now.
That's such
I
a
did not
weird. I don't know
recognize
why
him.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was also like in the Purge. The Purge does this like all the time in every movie, but like just the like surface level of social commentary that they try and do.
Yeah.
With this one, it was like that the main character didn't like Mexicans, and he was like, "It's not that I don't like Mexicans; it's that I just don't think that we should be together."
Mix.
It's like, and they were gonna brush over it too. And I was like, okay, by the end of the movie, they're gonna be great. He's gonna save his life.
But they didn't even talk about it. They didn't even bring it up again.
No,
I was like,
didn't.
okay. I was like, maybe he'll get to the end where he'll be like, no, we need to be together, like as a society. I wouldn't have made this out of here without you. But there was no line
that would
like
have
that.
been great.
But nah, I killed him off.
Yeah.
It was just surface level.
I felt it was so weird that you have 7 characters and only one of them dies during like the worst.
I knew it was
tragedy.
gonna be him too. What was weird was that they were setting up this romance with his sister, and I was like, that's not necessary. This guy's definitely gonna die. Like,
yeah. I was looking looking at the cast members and I was like, okay, which one of these guys isn't gonna make it? And I kind of wish it hadn't been him because I actually liked his character a lot.
I liked him too. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I knew he was gonna die. What was weird was that like they were setting up this weird thing that every time he would like make a move on his sister, the brother would look at him like with a dirty look or something. And I was like, is that gonna be anything? Nope, he dies. He dies, and we're just never gonna talk about it.
And it's not like
Never
they
gonna
made
talk
the
about it.
girl like I thought that at least maybe they could like have a moment or something where it's like, oh, I love you so much or whatever.
Yeah,
She
I
wasn't even very
Because
likable.
that's what a good movie would do. Is that they would have a moment and talk about it.
It's not that she's not very likable, Gabe. I think it's just the fact that like we know nothing about her. Like we genuinely know
she's blonde-haired chick with a shotgun.
exactly like
That's her character.
what or how about this, guys? How about this? What are any of these characters in this movie's name?
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you.
Oh my god.
Like, bro, I don't remember a single character's
Dude,
name.
honestly, I couldn't even tell you a line. I couldn't tell you a line from this movie.
I can tell you the one dude's line where it was
I know,
he was like, I just think we should all stay separate or whatever. I remember that line.
Yes.
But that's,
Yeah, I
Yes,
remember
that's
that
the
too.
only one that I remember.
or when the dude's
Oh my
like,
gosh.
when doesn't somebody say go fuck yourself or whatever, and then that's when the dad gets shot in the head.
Yeah, you know the other thing that was weird that I thought was going to be set up for something, but it's a Purge movie, so I shouldn't have expected that. But the dad at the very beginning was like, my boy, always trying to prove himself. I didn't catch that at all. Like he was just protecting his family throughout the whole movie. I was like, oh, maybe he's like gonna be angry at the Hispanic dude for doing something. Nope, doesn't come back. Doesn't. Nope. He's just a dude.
Is one of them named John? Maybe. John feels like that might have been the white guy's name.
Okay,
Maybe.
we're gonna play a game real fast.
Okay.
I'm gonna Google the cast and characters.
Okay, go ahead.
Give you a name. You gotta give me who it is.
Okay. I think this will be easy because it's pretty. I think they're pretty distinct names. I think. I just can't remember a single one of them.
Okay. Juan.
Juan is the main guy. That's the main guy. Juan is the main.
Yes.
Hispanic dude. Okay.
Okay.
How did I forget Juan?
I'm looking at some of these people. I don't remember their character.
You know, speaking of things that like feel like they just forgot about.
Okay. Harper.
Is that the
I couldn't
sister?
tell you, dude. I couldn't
That's
tell you.
the sister.
That's
I'm
the
literally
sister.
looking at a
Yeah.
picture of her. I couldn't tell you who that
I'm telling you what, that took me. I had to rack my mind to remember who that was.
Dude, like I'm looking at half these characters. I don't remember seeing them.
What's the
Oh,
main?
you know what character I wanted more of? Because there was this one scene
Dylan.
that I really liked. I really liked the
Oh my God,
scene where
that's
they
right.
were
Your name,
locked in
his
the
name is Dylan
police van.
Tucker. Sorry, John. Sorry, continue. His name is Dylan Tucker because it's my name.
No,
I
no,
forgot
no,
my
no.
own
I was
name.
just- There you go. That's what
Who
happened.
am I?
I was just gonna say I really like the scene where they're trying to get out of the van and they're stuck with that Nazi guy, and that character Darius that was in there with them.
Gone.
I was like, man, that guy's kind of cool. I hope we see more of him.
Forgotten.
Nope,
that.
never saw
Size.
him again. Nope, never saw him again.
You know who else we
He
didn't
was
see
like, I'm
again?
gonna go search with my family.
Oh,
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Gabe. I think you're about to say what I was gonna say.
I was gonna say. So the Nazi dude in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Totally died in the car crash, right? Or am I remembering this wrong?
The girl died in the car crash.
No, Darius killed him.
Oh, that's right. How in the hell did nobody else die in that car crash? Because they weren't wearing seatbelts at the time, right?
They were.
Well,
They
chained.
were.
I mean-
She banged her
that's
head
right.
against the back of the wall. But I was like, wouldn't the other
Yeah.
characters also theoretically bang their head against the back of the wall? I don't know. That one was movie logic. That's
Well,
just,
they didn't.
yeah.
She didn't have as much plot armor as her.
Also, how freaking stupid were those cops that were in that van that were like, "What's going on? Did they not hear the sirens? What's
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here." Dude, did they not know?
that. You
Did
know what I
they
will,
not know that it ended? Like,
you know what I will give credit to? That goat trap where they like trap her again and then like
Oh,
she flips
I was
over. That
just
was actually
thinking
pretty
that.
cool. I actually thought that was pretty cool.
that was pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
also-
wish we got more moments because that whole scene with her being trapped and then being arrested, that whole part was really cool. I wish they had kept more of that kind of stuff.
the thing, and I also enjoyed.
I kind of wish they did more Mad Max stuff.
Yeah, I you know what I also, speaking of that Mad Max thing, Gabe, that part, this bothered me. We have a clear villain at the beginning of the film with the guy who worked at the ranch, and he just
Right.
disappears. After that
Mhm.
moment, he's never seen again. He is one of the
Did he
coolest
not even
masks.
die? Did he not get killed?
No, he didn't die. He said, "We need backup. We need backup," and then he just ran off. As the other cars were coming, they never chased them. There was nothing else about that for the rest of the movie. And I was like, why
What
would you
the
set up
hell?
somebody with a cool mask, a cool hat, someone who is tethered to the characters who used to work with them? Why would you set all of that up and then not do anything with it?
Because it's a Purge movie.
I was like, why isn't
That's-
he the antagonist? Who the fuck is this red-haired dude? Like, I don't know. Make
And why the heck why wasn't he racist at the beginning?
exactly. Make the red-haired
Whoa.
dude the dude from the beginning, and then just give him a girl, like any girl that he likes that we haven't seen yet, and then kill that dude. And then it's like
Yeah.
intrinsically tied to the characters. Everything about it makes sense. I don't know. It bothered me that like they have like 4 different villains. I was like, okay.
That would have been great. Would have loved to see that.
Oh, okay. So, the female who plays Harper Tucker, Levin Rambin,
Yeah,
I guess is how you pronounce her
I've
name.
seen her somewhere.
She's been in almost every single YA novel adaptation there's ever been. Percy Jackson, Hunger Games, Mavericks.
Percy
Probably,
Jackson
she
one
probably has a
song.
very specific agent then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably saw her. In,
she's in a lot.
because I was looking at her. I was like, I've seen this girl somewhere. I just couldn't necessarily remember where I had seen her for, or this not this girl, this woman somewhere.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I don't know. It's a lot of little things, and I think that the fact that these little things happen kind of slows down the pacing a little bit. Now, I did like, for instance, I like the undocumented like sneak across the border stuff. Struggle of them like having to come back. I liked that a lot.
Okay. That reminds me of another thing they threw away was the whole like America is home now.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, you have to like. That didn't go anywhere. That was like generic conversation that seemed like it was setting up something.
Or the fact that the like his wife was like part of the, what is it, Mexican mafia or do you remember that, the cartel or something like that?
Oh no! Like somebody told her, like one of the coyotes told her, follow the red roses.
Oh yeah.
No, that's
Right?
what I'm saying though. Is she, remember she was so skilled with a gun and everything, and she was like, and they were like, how do you know how to do this?
Oh,
No,
because she was a part of the female freedom fighters in Mexico.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Which is a real thing. They're like a female army that fights the cartel,
Yeah.
and they fight for women's rights, and
Okay,
they like,
cool.
but they kind of do it in an interesting way because they like take over cities and then they
Okay.
take
Gotcha.
over buildings and stuff.
I didn't know anything about that. So maybe this is actually a good thing that they included that, because I maybe I can educate
Yeah,
myself.
I just didn't like that it was a throwaway line. Like they could have done
they
a
didn't really
lot
go much
because
into
it would
it.
mean that she's a feminist and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. They could have done stuff with it.
I did like the Native American
Yeah.
inclusion though. I thought that was kind of cool, and I think they actually handled that pretty well.
That was interesting. I don't know. It felt like they thought about the fact that like there's a thing that Mexicans don't talk about, but like Mexicans are descendants from Native Americans.
Really, I didn't know.
I don't
that.
know. It felt like they were kind of referencing that at some parts of it, and but they brushed over it. So
Interesting.
because there were some parts where they were like, yeah, they took this land from us, and I was like, yeah, they did. It was, I don't know.
Would you guys say that you had a favorite part?
Credits.
Credits.
No, let me think. I couldn't tell you, dude. The movie was so generic that like it's just blending together.
I thought the cast worked well as an ensemble.
I do like for sure. I do like whoever the designer is for these movies.
Yeah,
They're always pretty good. I will give them that. Like
that
the
mask
costume design is always.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, why did they make that the main villain?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Is that's
Such a
literally going to
cool
be the
mask.
thumbnail of this video. Like, I don't know why he wasn't the main villain.
Should have been, yeah.
What about you, John?
I think my favorite part was probably the van thing we were talking about, was her getting out of that.
Really?
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, there's just so much of the movie that's like them walking down a street.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, we did this already. We've done this before. Like, I get it. They're trying to get to the border, but
yeah. So, Gabe, where do you think? What do you think's the next step? Where do you think we're going with this? Do you want to see it continue? No? Yes? Maybe?
I wanted to end, dude. I don't know. Where do I think it could go? Where do I think it could go from here? I don't know, like Purge Plus or something like that. That there's like a new rule added to it or whatever.
Nukes are allowed.
Let Gabe name things.
Yeah, Purge Plus. There we go.
Sounds like a streaming service, guys.
It's alliteration, all right?
Sounds like a
You're lucky
streaming
we got
service.
Purge Plus. Welcome to Purge Plus. Maybe what if they were like Purge influencers?
Okay.
So like people whose like their entire identity is based off of them like making videos on the purge and then monetizing them.
That might be
It's like them running around and killing people's dogs and stuff like that, you know?
So like I'm talking about like,
I don't know.
but like story wise, do you think
Yeah,
there should be
they're
another one?
anthology.
Do you think that like, do you think
No.
that'll be like the main theme is that they're like now purge influencers, like people who recorded and stuff?
So if they're gonna have an overarching theme or like an overarching like story, right? Lesson, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're saying that the purge wouldn't work. It doesn't work
Yeah.
because eventually people are going to realize, oh wait, we can just have anarchy 24/7. Let's do that. You know?
Yeah. I mean, the country fell
and
apart.
so-
Like, didn't they say that they like raided the Capitol and like they can't control it?
I know that they got to what's the one in El Paso? One sec. They were talking about like how they ran Fort Bliss over at El Paso.
Okay. So Gabe wasn't paying attention to that end credits part.
Oh no, I wasn't. Written credits?
No, they said something that I think Gabe is a little bit right. Didn't they say they overran something? They I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
that was like before the ending though, that they closed the border to El Paso.
Right.
Yeah, that's what Gabe's talking about. But that was before the end of the movie.
No, I think there was.
Yeah.
But I swear, I thought there was something like while they like panned over the U.S. and it was like an Earth shot
It
basically.
was just on fire.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then there was like a voiceover that was like something has fallen, like the fort has fallen or something like that. And then they showed like clips of like of an entire fort blowing up. Oh no, that was in the middle of the movie.
Yeah. That was towards the middle.
Not in the middle, but like towards the end. I'm just
Well,
confused.
what are the end credit scenes I'm missing? Like what?
I don't think there was an end credit scene. I just think
Not necessarily end credits. It was just a narration that was saying what was happening.
Yeah, I kind of zoned that out.
So do you think that? But now that you know about it, do you think they'll do something with that game?
Maybe, probably not.
Yeah. What about you,
I hope
John? What
not.
do you think? What do you think's next?
I mean, if they're gonna be freaking logical, they're probably gonna continue it. And I think the next one would be called like the Purge War or something. Or
Let me see what the
War.
box office on this thing.
Because the whole thing with that was that like it said like, oh, but people are actually fighting back against these Forever Purge racists.
Yeah.
You know, so like maybe, and it sounded like they were setting that up.
Let's see what the budget was.
And again, the Purge.
So-
it's a lot of stuff up that they don't talk about.
Yeah, I don't see them not churning another one of these out because it seems like they're really easy to make, and like they have a vague socio-political message that they try and give every episode. Jesus, every movie. I don't know.
The budget was $25.8 million. So theoretically, it would have to make $75 million, $76 million to break even. So it made $19 million this weekend. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it'll make enough? The last couple have made over $100 million.
I think they'd make another one justifying this failure as like, oh, it's like still
COVID
pandemic.
Oh.
You know, so
Yeah.
we should make another one.
Do you think it'll fail? I don't know if
but-
I'm. Do you think it will? Do you guys think it'll fail?
Well, the thing about them, the reason that Blumhouse is known for like low budget horror thriller stuff.
Yeah.
That's their thing.
And they do a pretty good job.
So
for the
they might
most part.
continue it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they would. I mean, you have a story set up. It's just that whoever they hire as these screenwriters are just freaking garbage. And the directors not always great. Like if they could just find a good writer, like you could do something with it. It's like how I feel about the Transformers movies. If you put it in the right hands, it'd be great.
As far as like political stuff goes, I thought this one, like the comments on like classism and stuff like that, I thought this one did the best job so far. It like, I don't know, it didn't feel, I don't know how to describe it, but I thought this one like handled stuff pretty well. Like it didn't. You'd still miss the mark with like the stuff that we talked about earlier, on like a couple of things like that. But as far as like people coming over the border and like their struggle, I thought they did that pretty well.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it did it better than some of the other ones. I mean,
Yeah.
they were like really hitting on that
Hmm.
struggle that immigrants have. It was too surface level for me to buy into it.
Interesting.
So, I don't know.
So you think we're headed towards like a purge war type thing, John?
Yeah, because I just feel like that would be money. I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like that would be something that the producers would look at and be like, gosh, there's a lot of money in that.
Yeah.
Freaking, even though it's always kind of felt like a war zone when they're doing purge movies. So
Well, I think
I imagine they wouldn't even change the budget that much.
here's where I would like to see this go. Away. This one,
Yeah. Thank you.
I liked. I thought this one was okay, but I've had now 3 okay movies in a row centered around the purge. I like the first 2. I think the third, fourth, and this one are all just okay. So if this was the end, it wouldn't really bother me. If that makes sense. Like I appreciate what they did, but I'm kind of done with like this story. I mean, the war purge thing, that seems like a logical choice. So if they do pump out a sequel, I kind of agree with you, John. That's kind of probably where they're going to go. But I don't necessarily know if I'd want to see it. Do you guys feel the same way?
I wouldn't want to see it unless you made me, because I would have to come back and do a podcast about it.
Yeah, definitely what will happen.
Or maybe for like, maybe I'll be missing you guys and I'll be like, for old time's sake.
Let's go see the purge. Fuck it. as if that was like the pinnacle of like
if I
a
ever,
good time. Let's go watch a subpar film.
If I ever say I want to watch The Purge willingly, like that's the first thing I recommend. Ask me if I'm okay. Say, hey, blink twice if you need help.
Gabe, are you really intoxicated? Like,
I didn't hate the movies as much as Gabe did. I thought they were fine.
I don't hate them. I don't hate them either.
They're still, they're okay. They're just so surface level, dude. They're just very surface level.
I just feel like
they don't leave me dissatisfied. I don't look. I put things on a rating of like, of Cats and Avengers Endgame. That's the rating system.
Wow.
And The Purge is like a 4 out of that.
So your Purge is like your.
It wasn't Cats.
Well, what movie's in between Cats and? So Purge is like Mary Poppins Returns. I like Mary Poppins Returns.
I like Mary Poppins Returns. That was a good one.
Yeah. I don't know what's in the middle of.
I just remember the feeling I had after Cats, and I was like, no movie has ever given me that feeling since.
It's because we didn't have the butthole cut.
All right. Well,
we'll end on that, folks.
Yeah, we'll end on that on the butthole cut. Where can people reach out and find you on social media, John?
Instagram, Jon Costa 364, and that's about it for right now.
Awesome. And that is going to conclude our show. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and add me on Instagram at Dylan Reviews if you feel like doing so. Like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. We will be back next week to talk about Black Widow, and we hope to have you back then. I think everyone can agree that in some way, shape, or form, this movie melted our minds. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.